Hello guys, welcome to this video. So today I was looking at POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and just its symptoms, which are in my opinion mainly central, like brain fog, like anxiety, severe anxiety in most cases, and also the dizziness, the headaches, and then you also have the tachycardia, so the rapid heart rate. And how it is actually often misdiagnosed, and then also how long it approximately takes to get the right diagnosis. So I forgot it right there, in average, so it is misdiagnosed in approximately 75 to 80% of patients with an average diagnostic delay of 4 to 6 years, that's an insane amount of time, right? And it even says right here, most patients are incorrectly told their symptoms are psychiatric or all in your head before finding a correct diagnosis. That's insanity, right? And that's actually what I want to touch on today, because even though most of these symptoms are clearly central and could be interpreted as like brain symptoms, psychiatric symptoms perhaps, the cause is there's a physical cause for these symptoms. And it goes perfectly with what I read on Reddit a couple of weeks ago. So I was on the mast cell activation syndrome subreddit, and this person was asking for advice, and they were mainly describing their extreme anxiety and such. And one of the commenters actually said that when they go to a doctor, they shouldn't make it mostly about the anxiety, because it will get diagnosed as a psychiatric problem, right? And then they get psychiatric treatment, which could be like getting whatever, right? Like I don't know, an antidepressant, or like I don't know, an SSRI, which, when you think about that, right? And when you think about when the cause is actually a physical cause, and then you get an SSRI or you get an antidepressant, that's like that's really shitty, to be honest. And then you're like 1 to 2 years further, when you realize, when this is not working for me whatsoever, you get off that shit, and then you still have to find the cause. And the reason this hits so hard for me is because my main symptom when I got sick was also the anxiety, just crazy anxiety, to be honest. So I got the COVID vaccine in 2022. A week later, the anxiety started, and with the brain fog and all these things. For me, this was a combination, I think I've mostly solved it now, of histamine, glutamate, and just massive inflammation. But the main symptoms were clearly central. And the thing that put me on this journey was that even though I always had anxiety as a kid, quite some fear actually, when I turned 21, somewhere along those lines, this fear completely evaporated. It was gone, right? It was completely gone. And that taught me that, and now at that time, I didn't really think much of it. I just thought like, well, I think I'm just getting older now. Now I'm a man, and now my fear is gone, or something like that. Now I realized something was going right in my body that took the fear away. This valuable lesson taught me that underlying physical causes in the body, let's say inflammation, let's say histamine overload, let's say glutamate, whatever it is, right? It can be anything, causing central symptoms that completely change your life. And to this day, so after I got sick from the Corona vaccine, which like when I'm sitting here, I don't have a lot of fear. When I'm outside, I don't have a lot of fear anymore. But when I eat something that activates my system, or when I drink something that activates my system, the fear will be back in 30 minutes. I can just feel it. At that point, I can feel when I eat something and this is the wrong thing for me, boom, the fear is back, right? So why I'm actually making this video is to tell you that there's a very big chance that the symptoms that are ruining your life, that there's a big chance that they are actually caused by a physical thing, mainly when you have this wiredness, right? That later turns into a tiredness, this brain fog, this anxiety, this feeling of not being able to show your real self, this feeling of having your real self locked in there somewhere. You know it's there, but it's not coming out. That's what I'm looking to solve for the bigger population having these problems. And so I'm working on a protocol. I'll release it in the future. And I just want to leave you with a quote here from Google that, so I searched for how often is POTS, so the postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, misdiagnosed. And it says these things, right? So 4 to 6 years is the average diagnostic delay. And then it also says most patients are incorrectly told their symptoms are psychiatric or all in your head before finding a correct diagnosis.